How are you? This is Jill with Luke Sketchbook, and thanks for reading it with me. Did this together in 2020, and yesterday we talked about Luke 14 and inviting people to God's banquet, but many didn't come, so the servant has to go out to the highways and the hedges and ask the lame, the blind, the poor. And I didn't have my glasses yesterday, but I read, "Go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in at my house, so my house may be filled. For I say to you that none of these men who were invited will taste my food." So the servant goes out. There's still room for others. The servant goes out to the highways and the hedges and says, "Come, please. Were you invited?" "Yes, but they can't taste the food." So I think that means going to heaven. Not everybody's going to be going to heaven. Maybe everybody's invited, but not everybody's eating the food. I'm not sure. "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciples." I had a friend in college who didn't like this verse. You have to hate your mother and father, wife and children, brothers and sisters, and your own life. And I always heard it's like love Jesus more, or you cannot be his disciple. So I said, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, and yes, his own life, he cannot be my disciple." So I think for me, I put my husband and son, and I have to hate my own life. There was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. But there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, full of sores, who was laid at the gate, desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores, so it was that the beggar died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. The beggar died and was carried by the angels to Abraham, or Abraham's bosom, or chest. So there was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen. Here's this purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. Every day was a nice day. But there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, who was full of sores, who laid at the gate, desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. So Lazarus is at, I believe the poor man was Lazarus. Okay. Yeah, Lazarus was the poor man. He's like, maybe I'll get some crumbs. And the dogs are licking his sores. So what a miserable life. So they both died. The rich man also died and was buried. And being in torments in Hades, he lifted up his eyes and saw Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Hey, he sees him afar off. Lazarus goes with the angels. Hey, Lazarus is in Abraham's bosom. So he's looking up there. And the rich man died and was buried. I don't know his name. The rich man died and was buried. And then he's tormented in Hades. He sees Lazarus is in Abraham's bosom. Then he cried, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame." I'm tormented in this flame. Mercy, Abraham, help me. Send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue. Send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue. I'm miserable here in hell, in Hades. Luke 16:25. But Abraham said, "Son, remember that in your lifetime you received your good things, and likewise Lazarus received evil things. But now he is comforted, and you are tormented." So Abraham told the rich man, remember, son, remember that in your lifetime you received good things. You received good things. Lazarus received evil things. You received your good things. Likewise, Lazarus received evil things. But now he is comforted. Now Lazarus is comforted. Yea, I'm at peace. But you are tormented. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed. So those who want to pass from here to you cannot, nor can those from there to here, pass to us. Abraham and Lazarus. There's no passage to you. No passage from there to us. Sorry, you're stuck there. Lazarus is with Abraham in heaven, and rich man is in hell. Then he said, I beg you, therefore, Father, that you would send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, that he may testify to them, lest they also come to this place of torment. So the rich man says, I beg for Lazarus to be sent to my father's house. Please go to my father's house. I testify to you, don't go to the place of torment. So Lazarus can testify to them. 5 brothers. The rich man has 5 brothers at his father's house. He wants Lazarus to say, I testify to you, don't go to the place of torment. Don't go to hell. You believe in Jesus. Abraham said to him, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear him. So these 5 brothers have Moses, the prophets and Moses to speak to the 5 brothers. Let them hear them. So they have ears here. They don't have arms, but they have ears. And he said, no, Father Abraham, but if one goes to them from the dead, they will repent. If Lazarus goes from the dead, then they'll repent. Okay, he's from the dead. We will repent and change. But he said to him, Abraham said to the rich man in hell, if they don't hear Moses and the prophet, neither will they be persuaded, though one rise from the dead. So the 5 brothers, we don't hear Moses and the prophets, and we won't be persuaded if you rise from the dead. So how is somebody going to believe in Jesus if Lazarus rises from the dead, if Jesus rises from the dead? If they don't hear Moses and the prophets, then they won't be persuaded if you rise from the dead. So hopefully they'll believe, no matter who testifies to them. Whoever tries to keep their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life will preserve it. So let's stop there on Lazarus. It's such a powerful story. On that night, 2 people will be in one bed. One will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding grain together. One will be taken and the other left. So end times are very important. Knowing Jesus, going to heaven with him. Open the door to your heart. Don't be like Lazarus. Do be like Lazarus. Go to heaven. Let's go to heaven with Jesus. Open the door to your heart. And don't be tormented and go to hell like the rich man who didn't believe in Jesus. Okay, you have a blessed day, and thanks for reading the Bible sketchbook with me.